After many requests, I am finally playing the NFL version of Wordle. There have been so many different spin-offs, rip-offs, whatever you want to say. There's Wordle, which is you look at a map and you find it global, kind of the same deal, a little bit different. There's Wordle with baseball. There's Quirtle. You got four. There's so many different things, but here's Weddle, which is the NFL player guessing game. You get 8 guesses on easy mode, but apparently there's a hard mode as well, where it's any player in the NFL, but apparently the first one is just offensive players. You guys have been asking me to play this a lot, and I already have problems with it. Weddle? Yeah, Eric Weddle's great. Like one of the most underrated players of the past couple decades, right? He was one of the big unheralded heroes of that 2007 draft class, which is just legendary. That features guys like Calvin Johnson, Joe Thomas, Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Patrick Willis, Marshall Yanda, Eric Weddle, we talked about. So, a lot of great players in that draft class. Darrelle Revis. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There's so many Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers in that draft class already. I think Calvin is the only Hall of Famer. Joe Thomas will obviously be first ballot as soon as he's eligible. Same deal with Adrian Peterson. Same deal with Darrelle Revis. Patrick Willis, I think, has the quality to get in, but did he play long enough? That's the big question. Anyway, this game should be called Waddle, after Jalen Waddle, the future Hall of Fame receiver on the Dolphins, just one of the best players in the league, without question. Basically what this is you get 8 guesses to name who the player is. You start with any guy, and then you'll get hints, we'll say, to help you get who the actual player is. There's an easy mode, there's a hard mode, and the easy mode is offensive players only. It is a little bit luck-oriented, at least at first, because you have to get lucky enough to get information based on your first guess. But we're going to go any offensive player. We have a full list here of offensive players. Let me think of a team. Let's go Colts. Let's go... No, not the Colts. Let me go with... Let's do the Bucks. Let's do Leonard Fournette. That's a good starting point. So, here's good information. We know the guy's 27 years old. That's a fact. Now, I don't know what the yellow means. Okay, so here's what it is. Yellow represents the correct conference, but not the correct division. And then in height, age, weight, yellow represents that the correct number is within 2 inches, years, numbers of the player. Okay, cool. Wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, tight ends. So we know it's an NFC player, not in the NFC South, that's 27 years old and isn't a running back. I'm going to say based off of the height, we know it's either a receiver, a quarterback, or tight end. So that doesn't really give us any information. I think at above 6 foot and 27 years old, I feel like receiver is certainly a possibility, but now it's about like knowing who's 27 years old. I don't know who's exactly 27 right now off the top of my head. So let's just pick another division in the NFC and try to find a player that fits. Is Kenny Golladay number 20 or age 27? That's NFC East. He might be 28 now. I'm going to go Kenny Golladay. He is 28, but we know he's taller than 6'4". This is huge information. He's not in the NFC East. Wow. Okay. So 6'5" is massive. He's in either the NFC West or the NFC North. Now, it could be a quarterback. And at 27 years old, who are the real options at QB? So if you look at the NFC West, if it's a quarterback, it's not Kyler Murray or the Cardinals. He's way too short. It's not Matt Stafford. He's too old and also shorter than 6'4". It isn't going to be Drew Lock, who's the new Seahawks quarterback. And for the Niners, Jimmy Garoppolo, is he 6'5"? I don't think so. And he's also not 27. So Jimmy is shorter. I think even much shorter than 6'5", and older than 27. So it's no quarterback if it's a quarterback. It's no quarterback in the NFC West. And in the North, Jared Goff. Could be Jared Goff. Could be the goofball. Is he 27? He's going to be close. 2016 draft would have been maybe 21. Let's go with Jared Goff. Let's go with the goofball. I think that's a decent enough guess. And this should tell us if it's a tight end, if we get the position wrong. So it's going to be a tight end in the NFC North. Jared Goff's also 6'4". Well, it's hard for me to know exactly So I think we can say safely it's a tight end in the NFC North that doesn't play on the Lions. So a Bears tight end at 27. Cole Kmet's going to be younger than that. Irv Smith Jr. for the Vikings, I think, is going to be younger than 27 as well. Although he might be 27 now. I still feel like he's going to be a little bit younger than that. But I think based on everything we're getting, I think the answer that makes the most sense here is going to be the Packers starting tight end, Big Bob Robert Tonyan. That's my guess. I think it's going to be correct, and it is. So we got it on 4, Robert Tonyan. We knew it wasn't going to be the Lions in the NFC North. We knew at this point it was a tight end. Had to be somebody big, and Robert Tonyan is 27. So all the cards aligned, or lined up there. The stars aligned for that to be Robert Tonyan. Got it in 4, but that was a luck component, because what if I started with Jared Goff, or what if I started with Cole Kmet? We would have known NFC North, tight end. It would be older than like Cole Kmet's 24-ish, 25, 24, something like that. So it's all kind of about who you start with, but getting it on 4, I'm pretty happy with. Let's go ahead and enable hard mode, which is any player in the NFL, including linemen, including punters, including kickers. And I want to start. Is it going to say like guard? If I start with AJ Khan, is it going to be guard, or is it going to be all offensive line? That's something I am curious about. I assume it would be guard. But let's go ahead. Let's start with a defensive player. Now, it still could be an offensive player. Still could be a skill position guy. Quarterback, receiver, something like that. But let's go with... I started with an NFC South guy, and it was an NFC North. Let's go AFC. Let's go AFC East. And let's go with... Man, the first guy I thought of definitely is not going to be correct, which is Ashton Davis. But I thought of it. I'm going to go with it. The Jets safety. And we know it's a safety who is smaller than 6'1", is younger than 25, and plays in the NFC. This is a lot of big information. It's a young safety in the NFC. Well, being a New York Giants fan, as many of you guys know, do I have any Giants stuff in the background? I got the Saquon jersey. I'm thinking of Xavier McKinney off the bat. He's a young safety. I think he might be 23, 24 years old at this point. I like the X-Man that plays the NFC. Is a young safety who I think could be the option. And it is... He's only 22 right now. He got drafted pretty young. But Xavier McKinney is not the correct answer. We know it's someone who wears a number in the 30s or 40s at safety. We know that he plays in the NFC, is smaller than 6 foot. Okay, so a lot of information here. It could be Antoine Winfield. Oh, that's definitely... I guess it's not definitely who it is. That's so confident in saying that. But Antoine Winfield Jr. lines up. I believe he's older than 22, because he was older than Xavier McKinney in that draft class. So he might be 23 years old. He wears a number in the 30s, I want to say. I think he wears 31. Plays in the NFC South. I really like Antoine Winfield Jr. here. And that is the correct answer. Got it in 3. So there you go. Yeah, we got... See, that was the luck component that I'm talking about, where I happen to start with a safety because Ashton Davis, for whatever reason, popped into my head. That led me to the Giants and Xavier McKinney. We knew it was an NFC guy. And then just, again, everything lined up. It was a shorter safety who was at that perfect age range. We got so lucky that it was under 25 and then over 22. It just kind of made a lot of sense to be Antoine Winfield Jr. And I'm not sure how many options there were that would actually fit here. I mean, if it's any player in the NFL, it could probably be backups if it really is any player. But Antoine Winfield Jr. just made the most sense. He's a starter. He's actually pretty good. And if these are like hand-picked, user-picked players, I think a guy like Antoine Winfield Jr., who's actually pretty well-known, made a lot of sense. They, of course, did the peace sign at Tyreek Hill in the Super Bowl. And now they're actually going to be living in the same state, which there's really no point to me even saying that, because it's not like they play in the same division or conference, and Tampa really isn't that close to Miami. So it's really the least fun fact of all time. Now, I wish I could have had a little bit more guesses for you guys to really go through the process, but we only have the 2, and I got them in a combined total of 7 guesses. So there's that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know, are you guys playing this every day? For me, it just kind of like, I don't know, it ran out for me. For Wordle, Wordle, I just kind of got bored of them. Like here's Wordle, for example, and they're not always really easy, but if you guys have seen my GeoGuessr videos on my 3rd channel, so if you go to my channels list here, you can see all the channels I use. Gene Dangus is the one I use mostly for GeoGuessr. I upload fairly frequently to this. And then my 2nd channel, which is also linked down below, I'm doing a Pirates franchise on, and also Diamond Dynasty content as well. Uploading daily to this channel as well. So these links are down in the description, per usual. But anyway, on the GeoGuessr channel, I play around in maps a lot. So a lot of these countries are going to be pretty easy to me. Like this one stood out immediately as Japan. This is the North Island Hokkaido. Right there is going to be Sapporo. Tokyo's right in here. Nagoya, and then working down, we have the different prefectures of Japan. It's just very obviously Japan. But for me, these are just kind of like run out on like how fun they are. I think the guy that sold the actual Wordle for $1 million to the New York Times, what a steal. Guy capitalized greatly because all these things are ever going to be is just a fad. It's going to be, it comes and goes. So I did want to try this out, showcase it on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed, but that's pretty much going to be it. Check out my 2nd and 3rd channels, please, if it interests you. I know GeoGuessr is going to be pretty niche. Not a lot of you guys are going to be into like a guessing game on Google Maps, but I think MLB, a lot of you guys might be interested in baseball. It's opening day today as I record this, as I upload this. And if you like franchise content, there is a franchise series going on this channel with baseball. And if you don't like baseball, a lot of the reviews of the series so far is, I don't like baseball, but you know what? I like your franchise series. I feel like this is going to be a good one. I've liked it so far. So check it out. Link down below. Bengal Plays just hit 67,000 subscribers. And also, I used to be pretty good at MLB The Show. Maybe not so much anymore, but if you're actually interested in me being a good player of a video game, I actually try on MLB The Show as opposed to the football video games that feature on this channel from time to time. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Back to the house, defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud.